Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Luna will make an enterprising move while Steffy makes a discovery. Hope will also face some heartbreak. For starters, Carter will have to choose whether he wants a future with Hope or a future at Forrester. It doesn't look like Carter can have both, so he seems poised to pick his spot at the company over his love. Hope anticipated Carter to back her up and leave Forrester Creations now that Steffy has remitted her line again. Although Hope allowed Carter would stay by her side, it appears he'll fail her when he stands with the Forresters. Of course, it's tough to believe Hope and Carter's relationship can survive a blow like that. Hope may make it clear that she's done with Carter after he lets her Gamara alone. Once Hope presumably finds herself single, she'll pound over her heartache and articulation to Brooke. Still, Brooke wouldn't respond with compassion since Hope isn't holding herself responsible for her miscalculations. Brooke will throw some blame Hope's way, so she'll principally act like it's her son's own fault that she's miserable. Hope, on the other hand, will feel like Carter promised her the world and didn't deliver. Although Hope was counting on Carter to be different than the other men who let her down, she'll be filled with disappointment. Over with Daphne, she'll deal with some anxiety over the secret she's keeping from Carter. Steffy signed Daphne for a scheme to recapture Forrester control, so Daphne manipulated Carter to see effects the Forresters' way. Steffy also instructed Daphne to come between Carter and Hope, so he wouldn't authorize if he knew Daphne had an docket from the launch. Now that Daphne has developed genuine passions for Carter, she'll be determined to keep the Verity under wraps. Steffy will have a discussion with a nervous Daphne and discover just how hard her secret supporter has fallen, so she'll pledge they can keep Carter in the dark. Meanwhile, Deacon will get updates on some shocking news. B&B spoilers say Deacon will have to wrap his head around Luna's amnesty and the fact that she's Sheila's granddaughter. Sheila's instant love and acceptance for Luna should leave Deacon deeply unsettled. Although Cleric may advise Sheila down from Luna, Sheila will continue to latch onto her cherished grandchild and offer support. At some point, Cleric will also catch up with Hope, so he should give the comfort she's dogging. Hope will need her pater further than ever after Brooke turns against her, too. As for Luna, she'll get started on a new plot now that she's free to pursue Will. Luna will initiate a discussion with Will at Il Giardino, where she'll do some flirting and try to repay him for his family's kindness. Since Bill has done so much for Luna, she'll suggest she owes Will as well and will use this occasion to reel him in. Will's surely going to keep his guard up at first, but part of him could ultimately decide Luna deserves another chance. Bill clearly put a lot on the line for Luna when he arranged her amnesty, so Will may keep that in mind. Luna will make some prognostications about getting the happy ending she wants, but is catastrophe brewing rather? Finn might utter 4 nipping words regarding Luna. This disclosure could prompt Steffy to advertise that she's finished with her hubby. Steffy has diverted her focus to Forrester Creations for now, but she remains acutely apprehensive of Luna's amnesty and the implicit peril it brings. Luna has formerly stirred up some trouble in Steffy and Finn's relationship, yet Steffy appears determined to hold effects together, as long as Finn stays down from Luna. Suckers of B&B are well apprehensive that Finn carries a sense of guilt for not being present in Luna's life during her parenting. She only had sporadic visits with Finn as her kinsman when what she truly demanded was a father figure to calculate on. Finn may not be responsible for Poppy maternity deception, yet a part of him clearly yearns to set effects straight. As the plot unfolds, that desire is likely to consolidate, since Finn will see peril ahead for his son, considering now she's clinging with her paternal grandmother. The dynamics involving Sheila might not so unexpectedly have a significant impact on Finn. He may notice that Luna is desperately holding on to her worried grandmother, as she has no other support. This consummation could shift Finn's perspective on his own readiness to embrace Luna. He might worry that without his intervention, Sheila could steer Luna towards a destructive path. However, she risks squandering her chance to ameliorate herself if Luna allows Sheila to impact her. Steffy wants Luna in prison, locked up and the crucial throne down. Steffy is determined to see Luna return to captivity, but Finn might believe that's not the stylish path for his son. Still, Finn could eventually feel compelled to support her fresh launch, if Luna shows a genuine desire to change her life. This leads us to Finn's 4 shocking words that Steffy dreads. Luna deserves another chance. Still, Steffy will be hugely outraged, potentially egging her to leave him and take the kiddies abroad, if Finn adopts this standpoint. Given Steffy's unsettling enterprises about Luna and her implicit conduct, she'll be far from happy if Finn chooses to side with her, and she'll pack up her bags and kiddies and move on. The Forresters reclaiming their power at the office and choosing who stays and who goes. The Forresters gathered at the main office to bandy what's to come now that they're back in power. Specifically, what's going to be to that snake Carter. Steffy wasn't convinced keeping him on was a good idea. Meanwhile, over in the design room, Carter was pleased to see Hope showed up to work. Hope laid into him again about blowing their chance at power. Carter and Brooke tried to reason with her and he indeed refocused out he made a deal to keep Hope's line, but she was induced that would be the case. Steffy would no way allow it. Soon later, the meeting began and the Forresters made it clear they were in control. Steffy took the helm and handed down the verdicts. However, still, they had to be realistic. If it were solely over to her, the triad of serpents would be out of their jobs and thrown out of the structure. Carter not only got to stay but he'd remain as the susurrus and renew his duties as the FC legal counsel. Brooke, too, was allowed to stay. She wouldn't be the CEO, however. That job title was for a Forrester. It was unclear what part she'd take on now, but as Steffy refocused out, she was lucky to indeed still be in the room. Brooke took the news in stride. Hope was coming and indeed spoke up to ask about her fate. She refocused out. A deal was made history with Ridge to keep her. Steffy also dropped the lemon that as co-CEO, she gets a say too. She outright called Hope a disgrace and claimed she tainted the communication of Hope for the future. The line is being remitted. The line wouldn't succeed with her name attached to it. Hope lost it but her outrage did no good. It didn't change a thing. Steffy stood strong. This is about family, honor, and respect. The further Hope spoke up, the worse effects got. And, when Carter and Brooke tried to stick up for her, Steffy made it clear they were walking on thin ice and to watch themselves. Also, she dismissed Hope outright. Hope went to walk out and demanded Carter go with her. So far, he hasn't moved a muscle. Down in the staging area, Daphne and Zen bandied how different effects feel now that the Forresters are back in control. They wondered how the original meeting would go and Daphne Rose wondered if it would be the last for many of the achievement players. They took bets on who would be there and who would end by the time all was said and done. They both agreed Hope would be on the mincing block. There was no way Steffy would keep her in the structure. Zen joked that it was what Daphne Rose wants, especially since she's getting close to Carter. It would be bad for Zen, however, seeing that he's the lead developer of the line. Hope and Carter are having a veritably pressure-filled discussion at the cabin. Carter brings up Ridge and Eric's part at Forrester Creations. She's kindly dismissive of the idea as she was busy trying to do commodity nice for them as a couple. She thinks they need quality time together. Carter says he wants to spend that kind of time together. He goes on to say he knows she's a good person who wants the stylish for her family and the company. He values their relationship the most in his life and Hope agrees. Carter says he'd no way designedly undermine her and always wants to cover her. Knowing commodity is over, Hope asks why he's speaking to her in this way. Carter say he has made a decision with which he hopes she'll agree.